Kamara was born in a sun-beaten village at the edge of Delta State, where cracked red earth stretched between squat mud homes, and the air was thick with the scent of wood smoke and rain. Her parents, Emeka and Ngozi, were poor but known for their relentless affection. They doted on her. She wore the best dresses they could afford from the market and ate the largest piece of fish in the family pot. In the evenings, they sat outside, whispering dreams of a better life in the city, while the Harmattan wind cut through the silence. But poverty gnawed at them. Emeka's small motorbike repair shop barely scraped enough to buy Gary. Ngozi's trading business failed after thieves stole her entire stock. Each year, the village seemed poorer. When Kamara turned 18, she was the pride of her parents. Smart, beautiful, quiet, and respectful. She planned to attend the university in Abuja, funded with money they didn't have. But something had shifted. Emeka had taken to sitting alone under the mango tree behind their house, head in hands. At night, Ngozi prayed loud, shaking, begging God for a miracle. One day, a stranger came to the village. He was a lean, smooth-talking man in black kaftan who visited Emeka quietly at dusk. Neighbors watched, murmuring. They said he was a ritualist, an intermediary to powers that answered prayers, for a price. Emeka laughed it off. But that night, when Kamara fell asleep, her parents stayed awake, arguing in hushed, frantic tones. "We can't do that to our own blood. You want her to suffer forever in poverty? There is no other way. But she's our child. We will love her forever. She will be the reason we escape this life." Kamara had always been her parents' precious jewel. Even in poverty, they spoiled her with what they could. She was the only child. Emeka carved her a wooden stool with her name burned into it. Ngozi hand-stitched dresses from colorful, Ankara scraps she couldn't sell at the market. They made sure she went to school even when they couldn't pay the fees on time. Kamara would laugh and dance by the firelight while Emeka played his old harmonica. At the village stream, the other girls envied her quiet confidence. Her mother taught her to cook egusi soup perfectly. Her father praised her for her sharp mind. But beneath the affection, an anxiety festered. They never told Kamara how deeply they were in debt, that Emeka had sold his motorbike, that Ngozi owed the local cooperative women more money than they could repay in a lifetime. As Kamara's WIEC results arrived excellent scores, they hugged her so hard she winced. She dreamed of attending university in Abuja. She wanted to become a lawyer. "Don't worry, my angel," Ngozi would say, cupping her face. "We will find the money. You will go to school." But Emeka no longer smiled when he said it. He stared into the distance as if seeing something terrible waiting on the horizon. Debt choked them. The cooperative threatened to disgrace Ngozi publicly. Emeka's creditors began visiting at dawn, shouting curses into their yard. Kamara would leave for the stream, only to hear her mother weeping behind the door. She tried to comfort them. "I'll work. I'll do anything. I don't have to go to university." "You will go," Emeka growled. "We will find a way." And then the stranger returned. He came at dusk, lean, well-dressed in spotless black kaftan, his face oddly calm in the smoky twilight. He sat on Emeka's stool uninvited and watched Kamara walk past with dead eyes. "You know why I'm here?" he said softly. "Leave my family alone," Emeka whispered. "I'm your answer. The spirits don't care about debts, only payment. She is old enough. She will live, in a way." Emeka felt bile in his throat, but he listened, because every night he heard Ngozi praying so hard, she coughed blood. Later that night, Kamara slept deeply in her small room. Her father stood over her, sweating in the unlit space. Ngozi held a candle, shaking, whispering prayers she no longer believed. "We will be rich," she croaked. "She will never know what we did. She will be cared for." "We're monsters," Emeka replied. Outside, the wind rose, rattling the rusted zinc roofs of the village like angry spirits calling out. The next day, Emeka and Ngozi sent Kamara to buy palm oil from the next village. While she was gone, the stranger arrived. He spread out black cloth on the floor of their home, marking symbols in chalk. He unwrapped small gourds that stank of rotting herbs and blood. "It must be fresh," he said. "Her spirit must be willing. You have pampered her. She trusts you. That is your gift." Ngozi wept. Emeka shook as he handed over a small leather bag of coins, everything they had left. Kamara returned to see the stranger sitting inside, calmly drinking water. Her mother took her hand. "Kamara, sit." "Mama?" Ngozi's voice cracked. "Forgive us," the ritualist chanted. Kamara's head felt heavy. She blinked, confused, as the symbols on the floor seemed to move and writhe like worms. Her heart thundered. She tried to stand, but Emeka pinned her shoulders down. She screamed. Blood was demanded, but not death. The ritualist sliced her palm deeply, collecting the blood into the gourd. She felt her mind fracturing, as if something cold slithered into her thoughts. Her eyes rolled back. The stranger smiled, teeth flashing unnaturally white. "It is done. She will not die." but she is no longer fully yours." Kamara fell silent, her eyes blank and unfocused. Outside, the wind roared and slammed the door shut with a deafening bang. Ngozi screamed. Emeka dropped to his knees, sobbing. That night, they both dreamed of Kamara in her hospital gown, standing at the foot of their bed. Her mouth opened impossibly wide, blackness spilling out like smoke. "I am yours, forever." Emeka woke with his heart failing. Ngozi rocked his lifeless body, shrieking until the neighbors broke the door. She would never be sane again. And in the psychiatric hospital, Kamara sat bolt upright, her ruined mind suddenly clear. She smiled serenely. "They are with me now." Thunder cracked so hard the walls trembled. They buried Emeka in Lagos. The funeral was quick and cold, neighbors as gossips. Ngozi didn't speak. She sat blank-eyed, hands trembling as she rubbed her knuckles raw. Afterwards, she went to see Kamara. The psychiatric hospital smelled of bleach and sorrow. Nurses pretended not to watch as Ngozi walked down the corridor in expensive lace, makeup smeared with tears. Kamara sat in a corner wearing a thin hospital gown. Her hair was matted. "Her nails are broken." She rocked gently. But when she saw her mother, she stopped. She smiled. "Mama." Ngozi froze. "You came." Her voice was soft, musical. "I waited for you." Ngozi fell to her knees in front of her only child. "Forgive me." Kamara leaned forward, resting her forehead on her mother's. "It's okay. We're together now." Ngozi's eyes widened in horror as Kamara's pupils expanded, swallowing the whites of her eyes, turning them black as tar. Ngozi tried to scream but couldn't. Inside her head, Kamara's voice was clear. "Forever." Outside, the sky cracked open with thunder, and the lights in the ward flickered, plunging mother and daughter into darkness. Years passed after Emeka's death. Ngozi had fled Lagos, leaving behind the boutique, the flat with tiled floors, the whispers about curses. She returned to the village, older, worn, hair streaked with gray. She built a small house near the stream and lived simply. She visited the psychiatric hospital every month. She sat by Kamara's bed, reading the Bible out loud even when Kamara seemed lost in her rocking, mumbling to spirits. "I'm sorry, my child. I was blind, greedy. I chose money over you." Ngozi wept every time. But one dawn, during a morning, a strange pastor came to the hospital to preach the gospel and pray for the sick. God located Kamara through the man of God. Kamara sat perfectly still. The old pastor prayed with shaking hands, voice echoing in the tiled room. "Lord, break every chain, heal every mind, free those bound by darkness." Kamara lifted her head slowly. Tears streamed down her face. "Mama," she whispered. Ngozi dropped the Bible. "Kamara?" She said, "Mama, by his stripes I am healed." She wept uncontrollably. Kamara fell into her arms, sobbing so hard it rattled her ribs. Nurses watched with wet eyes as the two clung to each other on the cold floor, rocking together like they used to by the firelight when she was a child. Kamara was sent for therapy in the city. She learned to speak about the unspeakable, to name what had been done to her. She wept in small, clean rooms with soft chairs and kind counselors. She prayed. She joined a small church, where people sang with raised hands and open hearts. One day, during testimony service, she stood before the congregation and spoke the truth. "My own parents sacrificed me for money. I lost my mind. But God found me in the pit." Many wept. Among them was Pastor Chinedu, a well-known, respected preacher, a widower with gentle eyes who saw not her past but her soul. Weeks passed, months passed, and Kamara and Pastor Chinedu courted quietly, carefully. She told him of his past life experience with her parents. She didn't hide them. "I want you, all of you," he told her. "Your scars are part of your salvation story." They married in that same church. Kamara wore white and wept with joy at the altar, watched by Ngozi, who shook with grateful sobs. "I failed you," Ngozi whispered after the vows. "You're here now, Mama. That's enough," Kamara replied. In the front row, the congregation sang praises until the roof shook. Kamara and Pastor Chinedu's wedding was not just a ceremony. It was a testimony. Ngozi danced at the reception in her gel and gold lace, tears streaming freely as she praised God. She had been the architect of her daughter's madness, but now stood witness to her healing. Kamara no longer hid her scars. She shared her story in churches, on the radio, in women's groups. She and Chinedu ran a counseling ministry for those tormented by dark pacts and family curses. After 1 year, the couple had twins, a boy and a girl. They named them Gracious and Mercy. And every morning, Kamara prayed with the windows open to the rising sun, praising and giving God praise for giving her a chance to enjoy life, like every other sane person. Pastor Chinedu loved her with all in him, because she knew what it was to be lost and what it meant to be found.